not too bad.
Yeah.
Considering that we missed, 5 or 6 weeks the time before?
Yeah, due to your poor planning, but yeah, no.
I don't think it's my planning
we're back.
whatsoever. You see, you said the same thing last week. I'm not going to fall into that trap again.
Well, I'm just saying.
Not
we're
it,
back.
not-
We're back in the saddle.
You said the same thing.
I know, but we're back in the saddle of doing this on a consistent basis.
Okay, thanks.
My bad.
All right, number 83. It is warm today. We're going to hit triple digits. It's warm in the studio here in the Holly Mason building, downtown Spokane. But we're here just for our viewers.
Yeah, my forehead has an extra shine to it today due to the temperature.
The perspiration.
in this studio. But
yeah.
anything for the fans and the listeners out there.
The thousands and thousands of them.
All 8 of you.
Hey, there could be more. Don't talk down
Tell
about
your
yourself
friends.
like that.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends. All right, number 83 for the Seahawks.
Oh, easy. Ricardo Lockett.
That is an easy one. I did love me some Rocket.
Oh, yeah. Until he broke his neck.
Until he cut his
Until
neck.
he broke his freaking neck.
He broke his freaking neck. I think he broke his freaking neck. Yes, but you know what's also really unfortunate, too, about that? Do you remember that hit, too? It was actually kind of a dirty hit. I wish we probably should have pulled that up, but that's okay.
I think his name was Heath.
Yeah, it was against the Cowboys, right?
It was. Yeah, it was on punt coverage.
Yeah, and he was a gunner.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he got kind of smoked, if I remember right. And he was down for a long time, but yeah, that was pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, put an end to his career pretty quick.
It was not a really famous career, but he was a very valuable role player on those the great Seahawk teams of the mid 2010s. That's a good one. Anyone else?
Deion Branch. Did he wore 83 with us?
He was 83
right?
with us. Yep.
Man, that's all that comes to mind.
Those are the main ones. There's one more decent one over the last few years.
Who would that be?
Give up?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll give you some hints. Wide receiver, of course. He didn't make a ton of catches, but he made a lot of impressive, big-time, I'm going to out-jump you type catches.
Oh, man. I'm drawing a blank.
Went to the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken.
We traded him to the Panthers?
No, we didn't re-sign him. I'm pretty sure he went to the Panthers.
What
And he
year
got
was
hurt.
this?
He was just with us 2 years ago.
83?
Yep. You're gonna hate yourself when you hear who it is.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. 83.
You give up?
Yeah.
David Moore.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that was pretty bad. I should have known that.
Yeah, I figured you'd be a little upset.
Yeah, he did make some big time catches. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
My mistake.
Yep, it's okay. I forgive you. And okay, there's another big one actually. Now that I just looked at the list again, he doesn't play for Seattle anymore, but he's very involved with the Seahawks. He's a really nice voice.
Steve Rabel?
Steve Rabel's 83.
He was. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't
Yep.
realize that.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
That's a good one. Cody Thompson.
No idea who that is.
Ray Butler. He was there in 83.
Do we have any Mariners with 83?
I did not look it up because I assumed not. But I guess
83
I
is
could
a
look.
pretty odd baseball number. What was Jesus Montero, 63?
Yeah, I think so.
That was pretty bad.
That's a horrible
He was also
number.
a horrific player, but
He tried his best. Wasn't very good.
yeah, he
but
ran like he had a stick up his ass to first base.
There's a few of them.
He was
that have
so
had that.
slow.
He was
So
very
slow.
slow. You know who's surprisingly not super slow for being kind of big? Cal Raleigh has some wheels.
The big dumper, as they
Yeah,
call him.
which is hilarious. So we missed 81. None of those are really famous. There is an 84, an 86, or a 96, 97, and 99 we'll get to at some point for the Mariners when that time comes. All right. Let's talk some Mariners. I think until the Seahawks have some really groundbreaking news, I think let's stick with the Mariners and what they've been able to do on the field. The Astros are a really good team. Last time, since we last talked, their 14-game win streak ended at 14.
Yep.
Due to the hands of the Astros. They were swept by the Astros, which is always unfortunate. I told a guy last night at softball, actually, he's a Rangers fan. I said, I wish that we would struggle against the Rangers and we would sweep the Astros. If I could, because I felt kind of bad. The poor Rangers haven't really been good in a long time. But the Astros, I wish we could actually handle on a more consistent basis. We do play them tonight. I think 6 o'clock.
5:10.
The 5:10?
First pitch.
Okay,
Yeah.
5:10. So playing the Astros again, but they proved that they're a good team. They're taking care of the teams that they should be taking care of. The Rangers, we should beat them. Heck, we should probably sweep them. in all, especially the way that we're playing right now. And a lot of that comes down to, honestly, you look at what the big differences are, aside from pitching, but Julio being in those games, I think really gives this team a different dynamic, a different energy, and more, just that persona of who they want to be.
Well, absolutely. But I also think you hear some people out there that are saying, oh, if Julio would have been in the lineup for that first series back from the All-Star break against the Astros, that they would have won 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3. I'm not so certain, man. The Astros are just stacked and they have our number. I guess time will tell, especially after this series here down in Houston. But it's definitely good to have Julio back, and especially with him hitting a bomb in his first at-bat after the wrist injury, it's pretty awesome. And so I guess that the question really is, was him being in the home run derby worth it, even though it cost him 3 games against the division leader Astros?
Yeah, so I this has been discussed a lot. Like, a lot of people have been talking about, and even Brock, you would put a poll out saying, like, should he have done this? And it was like 40 to 39 for
Really?
yes. And I'm a resounding yes. I think that a kid who's 21 years old, who is essentially kind of probably feels invincible, right? You got to protect him at a certain point, but at the same time, you also have to allow him to become great and to build his own path, and allowing him to compete in the home run derby, to build his brand, to build the Mariners brand.
Yes.
I think is worth the 3 games. And Mike Salk, I was listening to the Brock and Salk actually on the way here, and Salk was like, well, if the Mariners miss the playoffs by 1, 2, 3 games, you're going to look back and look at these 3 games against the Astros, and I don't buy that at all. The season's 182 games. Now, if this is a 17
182?
game,
I didn't know they expanded it 20 games.
162.
Oh, that's good stuff.
162.
I love when he stumbles.
And,
it's fantastic.
And if it was a 17-game schedule, it's a completely different story, missing 3 games.
Yeah.
And I just don't buy that at all, and it's not one of the top reasons why the Mariners could potentially miss the playoffs, which I don't think that they're going to.
No,
I think
they're
far
down the list. Far down the list.
And he was making the argument like, well, it's on the list, and it's like, I don't buy it. I think the pros outweigh the cons 40 to 1 in regards to letting him compete in the home run derby.
But in all reality, though, even if Julio is in the lineup, maybe he's worth 1 game against them. Maybe.
Right.
So you can't justify and you can say that we would have swept the Astros if Julio was in the lineup. But
right.
I agree with you. I think it was absolutely worth it. Again, great exposure for him and his brand and his popularity, and just putting the Mariners back on the map, especially with the timing of the All-Star game being in Seattle next year. I mean, it would have been so cool to see him win, and him being the reigning champion, trying to defend the home turf there at T-Mobile next year. But
right.
And long story short, it doesn't matter, though. There's 3 games. It's fine.
And honestly, he won it, I think, in a lot of people's books.
Yeah, 81 bombs. What did Soto hit?
53. It does kind of suck, this whole head-to-head going against the guy that you're going against rather than just kind of wielding a total, because Julio went against the second best home against Seager, and Seager had the second most home runs in the first round.
Right.
And so, I mean, Julio put on a way more impressive performance than Soto. He's more likable than Soto in the grand scheme of things. He's just more fun. But no, it was a great exposure for him. And yeah, you look at that first game back, and it's the leadoff home run, and then you look at yesterday's game with the 3-run bomb that wins it for him, and it was the play yesterday that was the bigger play in the series, because of it just shows him as a 21-year-old how mature he actually is, because it's a 1-1 count. He had just gotten 2 sliders. They're pitching him away. They went what was it? It was a ball outside, and then it was down and away. No, it was the other way around. He swung at a ball outside, and then it was another ball outside that he didn't swing at. And so he was like, all right, they're going to come with a slider, and if he misses with the slider and makes a mistake, I'm going to capitalize on it. And he did. He hung a slider, and he absolutely ripped it for a 3-run bomb, gave him a 4-2 lead, and that's what ended up being the final score. And that just shows him he's 21 years old. He hasn't really seen much professional pitching. The only professional pitching he's seen has been these first 90 games, and he has already shown that he can dominate the zone. He understands what pitches are coming his way, and that's the problem that Kelnick's been having, is really understanding what pitches are coming. He's kind of guessing. Julio doesn't guess. It always seems like he's in control of the count. Even at 0-2, you're like, he understands what's coming. He knows the strike zone, and he's going to put the barrel on the ball.
Well, and I think also that argument that you see, like if rookies or just young studs that come up from the minors, if they get off to a hot start, the downfall of the expectation is, good pitching is going to figure them out. But I think people know enough about Julio Rodriguez now to know, like, okay, this dude's an absolute stud, and they still can't beat him.
Right.
Even though they know, regardless of where they're going to locate their pitches, what they're going to pitch him, he's still going to dominate, man.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. And I remember hearing about the name Julio Rodriguez coming up through the ranks, and, you know, I'm like, okay, great. It's going to be another one of these guys who we think is going to be really good, and then ultimately end up falls flat. But, man, I mean, I mean, I know it's early. I know we're halfway through his rookie year, but he has all the makings to be the next Griffey.
Right, and the Mariners haven't had anyone like a Julio that has really put the team on his back in this capacity since Felix. You know, and you look at the 2000s in general, Felix and Julio are the only two studs that the Mariners have produced. Ichiro doesn't count. They didn't produce him. I mean, who else?
You wouldn't count them producing him?
No.
Did he spend his whole, well, not his whole career, but.
No, because he was already a star in Japan. He didn't really change his game all that much.
But he was young.
Not really.
How old was he when he came to
He
Seattle?
was like 27.
He was?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought he was early 20s. Oh,
No,
wow, I didn't
he was,
realize.
Yeah, he was older. He was 26, 27 when he came to Seattle. And so, I mean, really, who else? I don't think there's really anybody else. Now, you go back to the 90s, and that changes a lot because, you know, they produced David Ortiz. They produced Jason Varitek. A-Rod, Griffey. I mean, they had a...
Oh, it's so sad. It's honestly so sad.
And that's
that
just scraping the surface. I mean, 90s was Edgar.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, they produced Jay Buhner. Jay Buhner was nobody before he came to Seattle, and they kind of resurrected his career. But, I mean, 90s was peak Mariners in a lot of ways, and 2000s Mariners have been the opposite. They produced a lot of solid players.
They signed a lot of free agents that were busts.
Yeah. Yep. They signed a lot of guys who were really good somewhere else and decided to forget how to play baseball when they got here.
Robbie Cano.
He was fine. He was good here. Nelson Cruz was good here.
Not for what they paid him.
No. Yeah, and nobody can produce at a level. I mean, even Pujols, when he first signed with L.A., was never going to – that contract was never going to look good on the back end. And the nice thing – well, honestly, did the Mariners overpay for Cano in the long run, considering that they got rid of his contract and gave it to the Mets? I think you could argue that the Cano contract, from what we actually had to pay, was probably a decent win.
Yeah, but we also had to offload. Edwin Diaz.
You're right.
And then we got Kelnick in return.
So it depends. Yeah, that trade I think is a big wash right now. But I think Diaz is pitching out of his mind. 80 strikeouts in 120 innings.
Oh.
Yeah, he is filthy. But.
That's in the past. We're moving on to the future.
We're moving forward. We have a lot of guys in the system who are really looking like they could be big-time stars. Now, that leads into how many of these big-time stars are you getting rid of in order to compete right away? And how many – because then you also have to imagine all of these really good prospects may not amount to anything. Julio might be the last one. You know, George Kirby is having a great rookie year, but does that mean he's going to have a great second year?
But he's not a superstar.
Emerson Hancock – is he going to even amount to anything? We don't know. Novelli Marte? I don't know.
Harry Ford?
You don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
Is Kelnick going to find himself again? You'd hope so.
I think he's going to get traded.
Yeah, his value isn't high enough right now. His value is like at an all-time low.
All right. I don't know. I'm just saying, I think we sit here a week from today, he might be gone.
For who?
Juan Soto. Would you do it? Now, transitioning to the trade deadline, which is next Wednesday, right?
I think so. The 4th?
Okay. And I know we briefly discussed this last time, but what is the biggest area that the M's have to acquire some talent in? Is it starting pitching? Is it getting some relief pitching? Is it getting bona fide stud in that lineup to act as a DH so we don't have to keep playing Abraham Toro?
Not relief.
Really? Okay.
No.
All right.
Maybe a lefty. If there's a lefty reliever that comes up, but I don't think it's necessary. I think Baracki's serviceable, and you still have Justice Sheffield if you're forced to.
Yeah, I'll hold my breath.
What?
When Justice Sheffield starts pitching legit, meaningful innings.
What's wrong with Justice?
Who's texting you?
That was just my fantasy. I was saying ESPN, my ESPN fantasy app, telling me that someone's out of the lineup or in the lineup who's not in the lineup.
Oh, nice. There is, but just quick, debrief here on the fantasy baseball team fantasy baseball league that this guy's the commish of. There have been reports swirling that this guy's rigging the league because he's in first again.
Again, it's the first year we've done it.
No, well, I know, but he's also the fantasy football commissioner for our football league, and again, man, there's always a common denominator and why you're always getting first place. It's because you're the commish, but I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't think so. My team is
I'm just sticking up for the voices that can't be heard right now.
I'll speak up for all
Scotty,
the voices.
AJ, Mackie, Tim, Eric, Craig.
Me, you.
I hear you guys, and I'm speaking for you.
What about the baseball guys? Drew, Gianni,
McGowan, Judd. Well,
You
I
speaking up for them?
can't speak for that. I didn't want to do fantasy baseball this year. I'm honestly shocked that you guys have stuck with it this long.
I'm not, because my team is better than everyone else's.
Yeah, see, here we go. Because I remember we did it in high school.
That was a lot
and
of
like
fun.
we lost interest in like.
Well, you guys have
month and a half in.
no capacity to focus on anything.
Not wrong.
It's incredible the lack of interest in something that's a lot of fun. And the reason why is because I'm pretty sure I won that league too.
Well, yeah, because everybody threw in the towel because they're bored.
Because
with
I was
it, but
dominating, and it's like, we don't want to compete against someone who's just better than us.
I do remember my one highlight from fantasy baseball. I took Mike Trout with the last pick in the draft. I don't know if you remember that. This was before.
kinda
This was
remember
before
this.
he like was starting or anything.
Right, I think I do.
But
He
I
wasn't
took
even
him.
called up. He was in the minors still.
Yeah,
That's right. I do remember
that was my one claim to fame with fantasy baseball. And then again, I lost interest.
You still lost.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
But yeah. Anyhow.
So essentially, you're asking a guy who has managed his team to a first place position.
So we're still talking about this. Okay.
No, I'm transitioning back to what you said. The guy who is in first place in fantasy baseball by managing an awesome team, how I would manage the Mariners moving forward. Because I'm so good at fantasy baseball, how would I do in real baseball?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Lefty reliever, bottom of the list in the things that are considered needs. And I mean, you could probably say a needs all over, but they don't need a first baseman. They don't need a third baseman. They don't need a shortstop. They don't need a center fielder. They don't need any outfielders if you're keeping Haniger and Kyle Lewis stays healthy. They don't need an outfielder. And Winker, in theory, hopefully, maybe could potentially come anywhere close to what he's been the last 3 years. That'd be super
Lord,
awesome.
he's been underwhelming.
Man, God, I like him though.
I do too.
I really like him.
Good clubhouse guy.
A great clubhouse guy. Will back you up in a fight
Or start one.
Yeah. But he's there for you.
We need a second baseman.
You don't really need a catcher.
Okay, but Cal Raleigh can't play 98% of the games all year.
True. But
What are you doing on your phone?
well, Gunnar just commented on.
Oh,
see what he has
wait,
to
yeah. Do
say.
we have the feed? Can we listen to people? Is Gunnar listening?
He said, "We still golfing tomorrow, Josh?
I think so. Yeah.
Where at?
Indian Canyon,
Who?
8:30 and 8:42 tee times. Shout out to my good buddy Joe Chapman. He's getting married this weekend. A bunch of the boys are in town, and we're gonna go play some golf and go to the rehearsal dinner and all that good stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah,
You
Gunnar, I
didn't
think
say-
we're gonna golf.
You didn't even say who he's getting married to.
Oh, yeah, he's marrying my wife Natalie's longtime childhood best friend Jen Dieter.
I really thought that was going to end in a different sentence. He's marrying my wife.
I was about to get tongue twisted there by saying that, but no, yeah, it's supposed to be a beautiful wedding.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be at St. Al's, and then at a winery after. So it's gonna be a good time.
Yep.
But yes, Gunnar, still planning on golfing, unless something changes.
He said beautiful.
I'll let you know. Great, nice. Any more comments in the?
Rejected Penny said shiny when you were talking about your head.
Who's rejected Penny?
I don't know who that is.
Fair. But anyhow, enough of the forehead. Enough of.
You're the
golf.
one who brought it up.
I know.
You're the one who brought it up.
But okay, question. Regardless of you told me.
Gunnar
who
said
we need.
Julio Rookie of the Year. Yes.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, at this point, it's between him and Pena, probably, the Astros shortstop.
Not even close.
And it's not close anymore. It was close.
Yeah.
But I think Julio is currently the runaway favorite.
Okay, do we go after Juan Soto?
Oh, God.
And if we do, what are you willing to give up? Or what would we have to give up? And is it worth it?
Be Kelnick. It would be Marte. It would be Hancock. And potentially like Haniger.
But Haniger's going to be a free agent next year. And then the issue that I have potentially with signing Soto is you get him for 2.5 years.
Right.
Then he's going to be a free agent. Then he's going to go sign with the Yankees for $1 billion. I mean, let's be real. Like that's probably what would happen. So you have to time it up and know that starting pitching, your lineups are going to match up, and you're actually going to be competing for a World Series. That's the only reason you would go after Soto. You don't want him.
But
as
is your
just a
team
guy
there?
to get tickets?
Is your team there? If you add Soto, are the Mariners World Series contenders? I say no.
If you add Soto,
Yeah.
that and you add a starting pitcher, I mean, I think they get past the first round.
I don't know if they need. I don't know.
That's really hard though, because you're mortgaging a lot of your future for 2.5 years, and that's not something the Mariners have historically done.
I don't know. That's why I'm not. That's
yes
why.
or no? Gun to your head.
Do I do it?
Do you bring Soto on? And pray to God that the Mariners have built an organization over the next 2 years that entices him to stay long term.
And you also have to look at, does Soto also entice other free agents to come?
True, along with Julio. Yes or no?
All right, are you about to pull the trigger?
Yeah. Cocked and loaded, baby.
Nice. Oh my God. Yes, I think you do. I think you
Wow.
do. I think you do because of the fact that he will invite more free agents, and it's a different story than like Cano, because the Mariners with Cano and Cruz were in a playoff position, but it's completely different because of their ages, because of the positions that they played. But I mean, Dominican player as well with Julio, so that's always a cool story. That's exactly what Cano and Cruz were like. I think people would realize that Seattle is in it and willing to be in it, and there's no salary tax in Washington State, which always seems like that should be a really big bonus to people, but I don't know if it really is, and I'm not quite sure why.
That's so much money. It's like at that point, man. I mean,
it is, but that also means it's a lot of money
in
that
tax.
that it's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, gas is expensive here, but turns out that they probably don't even pay for that kind of stuff. I feel like that a lot of that stuff, the busing and the airplanes, and like they have to pay for travel anyway.
Right.
I think you do.
Peanuts. You do it.
I think so.
I would agree.
For the same reasons?
Yeah, I would agree. I think you're in win now mode. I think this team has shown you and shown that they have grit, and Mariners are legit. It's unfortunate that they got off to such a horrific start.
Right.
So now you're kind of sitting here thinking, well, is this a flash in the pan? Are we just super hot right now, but we actually don't have the depth to actually build a long-term winning organization? Again, that remains to be seen.
Right.
Things are all hunky-dory when you win, 22 out of 26 or whatever it's been.
Right.
So I still think you do because Soto's a generational talent, and he's young.
Clean cut, he's a really good guy, yeah.
I hate the fact that we would only get him for 2.5 years.
Potentially.
That part bothers me. But again, prospects are prospects.
Exactly, and they're unproven.
Unproven.
Sam, should they do it?
Do it.
All right, they better do it.
That's the verdict.
All right, let's
Moving
move forward. Sam, can you play that video I forgot to play earlier, the one that starts on whatever time that I told you?
Yeah,
Do you have that
what's
ready?
going on here?
This was the Dion Branch surprise for you. We're going to play this.
His career long of 54 yards, and he's now made 23 in a row. From the gun, Hasselbeck, deep ball, separation. Dion Branch! He's in! Touchdown, Seattle. San Diego questioning whether or not he lost the football before he crossed the plane.
This may be reviewed or...
Dion Branch, really fun signing. Speaking of big-time signings, that was a big-time signing for the Seahawks at the time. It didn't really amount to much, but
True.
I always forgot that was Carroll's first year they brought on Dion.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought for whatever reason he was there like in 2008. I don't know why, but that's what I always imagined Dion Branch being with. But yeah, funny against the Chargers. I don't know if did we win that game?
I don't think so.
I'll have to look that up while we move on here. I'll look it up. All right, let's talk Seahawks now that we brought that back up.
Yeah.
Not a ton of updates at the moment. Training camp started. KJ Wright. Let's talk KJ Wright. KJ Wright yesterday signed a one-day contract with Seattle, and actually just as of like 30 minutes ago officially retired. One of the all-time great Seahawks people, organization guys, fourth-round draft pick. Kind of a nobody kind of seen as a guy who wouldn't really fit in the NFL. Long, lanky, not incredibly fast. But, God, he put in a great career and was instrumental, probably the most underrated player of those Seahawks defenses, and always was available. His rookie year, he started at Mike because Bobby wasn't around yet, and I think stepped in for David Hawthorne, if I'm not mistaken. And from that point on, just always you knew what you're going to get with KJ. I wanted to ask you, and we kind of talked about it before the show, favorite KJ moment, favorite aspect of KJ's game that just always will stick with you?
I honestly, I don't really have like any
One
big,
moment.
like one moment for him. All I know is that defense would not have been what it was without KJ Wright. I know Sherman and Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, even Brandon Browner. I mean, those guys got a lot of the credit in the LOB days. But man, KJ Wright was a glue guy.
Very much so.
And really, I think that defense had so much success because of just honestly, just how long they all played together.
And he always seemed like a calming factor. Like, he was never like super aggressive.
Yep.
And never really was in your face. He just was kind of the guy that was there.
Very level-headed.
Kind of like Cam. You know, Cam was like that. Cam was aggressive, but he wasn't the guy who was going to be chirping.
No.
And KJ wasn't like that at all. But I have two moments that we talked about before the show. The one-handed interception against the Vikings, COVID year, as you pointed out, was I think just showed off that length. I mean, he was Spider-Man. That was his nickname. Right. And then that time that he knocked the ball out of the back of the end zone against the Lions in 2015 after Cam punched the ball out of Calvin Johnson's hands. He knocked out of the back of the end zone. Should have been a safety.
True. Yeah, we got lucky.
Or
We
whatever.
got lucky a few times in that era.
Yeah.
Real quick thing about Calvin Johnson. Did you see that stat?
No.
Tom Brady
Oh, yes, I
has
did
been
see
in the
this.
league as long – essentially Calvin Johnson
Yep.
went to high school, college at Georgia Tech, played his NFL career, and was inducted in the Hall of Fame, all while Tom Brady's been in the league.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's insane.
It is insane. Calvin Johnson was a freak, absolute monster to play against. But he was always fun to play against in those LB days because he just, he would just body us.
Oh yeah.
KJ Wright finished his Seattle career because he ended up playing for the Raiders for a year, but we won't talk about those stats. Finished his Seattle career third all time in Seahawks history in tackles with 941. He had 11 forced fumbles, 6 interceptions. He had no defensive touchdowns, which is kind of surprising. Played in 140 games, 44 games, started 140. Recovered 9 fumbles. And what else? Where are the sacks here? 13.5 sacks and hit the quarterback 27 times. 66 tackles for a loss. The one aspect of KJ Wright's play that always stood out to me was his ability to read the screenplay. From 2010 until he kind of lost a step, let's say 2018, Seattle screens were not possible against the Seahawks. And a lot of people talked about that just being their speed. That's part of it. But KJ was always the guy who was in the backfield on those screenplays and blew it up every single time. That's changed a lot over the last couple of years. That has not been the constant. And so we definitely miss KJ in that regard. Happy he retired as Seahawk. That's awesome. I'm glad that they were able to bring him back to do that.
Absolutely.
That was really nice. All right, the other thing that I want to talk about was Mike Holmgren up for the Hall of Fame. And speaking of Joe Chapman, our buddy, who always told you back in the day that he was more fat than Andy Reid, which is incorrect.
So false.
Andy Reid, bless his fat heart, but he's overweight, and he's more overweight than Mike Holmgren. It's just fact.
I agree with that. Yeah,
You just look them side by side. It's not even an argument, and yet he's
that's how
on his deathbed. That'll be the final thing he tells us.
That's how petty we were back
Right.
in the day, because Eagles would always get rolled by
Right.
by Seattle on those Monday Night Football games and stuff, and Joe's comeback was always, Andy Reid's way thinner than Mike Holmgren. It's like, is that a joke?
Yeah, it's incorrect. All right, I did want to talk. I love Mike Holmgren, by the way.
Same.
That was a great era of Seahawks football.
Again, I was thinking about it the other day with that Super Bowl 40 and the highlights I was watching, and oh my gosh, just brutal. It would have been really cool for he and Hasselbeck to win a Super Bowl.
They probably deserved one that year. One of the most efficient and impressive offenses of all time, honestly, in that era up to that point, and just got shafted.
And I always forget that Ben Roethlisberger was a rookie.
Isn't that weird?
So bizarre.
Very, very weird. All right, let's move on to a couple of NFL news. Let's do Madden rankings next time because the game doesn't come out until I think the middle of August, third week of August. So we'll have time to do the Madden rankings, but I do want to do that at some point. Let's pull up Russell Wilson's photo here. We'll just do some general NFL news. Let's pull up that photo of him and his truck. Everyone continues to call it his truck. So there's a lot to break down here. First off, if that is his truck, thoughts?
That thing is beefy.
I mean, it's awesome. Like, is it a Dodge? It looks like a Dodge. I think it's a Dodge.
Kind of look like that. It has a snorkel.
Yeah, for all of the freaking swamping he's doing in Denver, get out of here. It's cool.
Right.
Like I would drive it on the property and
around.
mess around. Yeah, but
a zombie apocalypse.
True. It does not fit him.
His persona at all.
And again, I don't know. Are we confirming that this is actually his truck?
Everyone
because he
said
could
be
walking from that Dodge on the right.
Yeah,
or the F-150 on the left. But I don't know.
I don't
Very
know.
bizarre.
Let's. Everyone says it was, and no one has denied it, so we're going to say it is. The other thing we have to break down is he's wearing his own jersey.
That might be the worst part of this whole picture. Like, who wears their own jersey when walking into training camp?
Right, when you're not on the field.
Right.
It's a very interesting
like
strategy.
Wear a John Elway jersey or something.
Right.
Like to pay homage to the past Broncos. But
right.
Again, we believed this while Russ was with us, especially toward the end of his career. Russ is about Russ.
Maybe a Kyle Orton jersey.
Oh my, Jake Plummer. Call it Jake Plummer. That'd be nice. He's just all about himself. And man, I was thinking about it the other day. I am so excited, not necessarily for the record that the Seahawks are going to have this year, but just for them to start to build something new. My only concern is just with Pete Carroll and how old he is. Like, is he going to be around for the second?
That guy might live until he's 110.
I think he'd coach till he's 85. Honestly,
if he wanted to, he will. I think.
So anyhow, about Russ and this truck, it's somewhat confusing.
If it's not his truck, whose do you think it would be?
Oh,
some offensive lineman or something, some hick.
Here, let's look. I'm going to read through the Broncos roster of the big time players, and we're going to Jerry Jeudy.
Not a chance.
They have a lot of no name. Bradley Chubb, could be.
No.
Ronald Darby.
I have no idea.
Melvin Gordon.
No. I think it's an offensive lineman.
Kareem Jackson.
At the corner?
Yeah.
No.
Brandon McManus.
Yeah, the kicker. That'd actually be pretty funny.
Just seeing him get up and down from that truck would be awesome.
Or is it even a players is the question.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually.
Probably John Elway's.
Wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, I don't know whose truck it is, but I'm going to have to guess that it is his truck for this discussion.
What is Scotty fine with? I just saw.
I don't remember where that came in from.
Is that when I was grilling you about being a commish?
No, he's fine with fantasy baseball. He's
definitely not fine with that.
I think he's fine with fantasy baseball, like paying attention and staying involved.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Got it.
I think.
Well, maybe he can provide some clarity on what he's talking about.
I think that one fits well. I almost said Kyler McMurray because of McManus.
Kyler
McMurray. Kyler Murray signed a 5-year, $230 million contract a few days ago. First off, ridiculously bad contract for the Cardinals. He's the second highest paid player in the NFL on a per-year basis. He is not that kind of player.
But you have to.
You have to, but he's not. That's the really unfortunate part with the position that you get put in with it when you have a franchise quarterback who's not one of the top franchise quarterbacks.
Yeah.
My favorite part of his contract, though, is that it's required every week to have 4 hours of independent film study. It's required. It's like homework. Like they're literally requiring their little quarterback, their little boy, to go do some independent homework film study.
I can't stand
Hilarious.
Kyler Murray. He drives me absolutely
He's such
nuts.
a baby. He's honestly
He is a baby. He pouts.
Yep.
He's not a good leader.
No, not at all.
That's fine. If the Hawks got to play against Kyler Murray
for
who
the next
I think
5
is
years,
fairly limited.
I agree.
Fine.
I agree. All right.
Now, would I take him or Drew Lock or Geno Smith? I'd probably take Kyler Murray.
For $230 million?
No.
Yep. Bleacher Report has the Seahawks in their power rankings at number 29, which is absolutely ridiculous. They also have the Bears. Actually, I don't know if it's them. Another AJ was telling me that someone had the Bears over under 4 wins. It's definitely over.
Yeah, you have to figure Justin Fields is going to improve. I don't know. I did see that Roquan Smith, right? The middle linebacker.
Yep.
Sounds like he's holding out.
He
so
is.
who knows? It is unfortunate though. The Hawks are just getting blown up.
It's because when they're bad, they're really bad in the national audience. When they're good, they're still not very good in the national audience. It's really frustrating.
That's fine though, and I'm going to be curious to see how Pete goes about motivating this team from what we used to be just dominant.
Right.
We expected to win the NFC West every year. We expected to win playoff games. Now we're the underdog. So I'm actually excited to see how they wear that hat.
First time since 2011.
Yeah.
2012 maybe even. I mean, because really with Wilson, we still were the underdog. It's
Yeah.
2013 where we actually kind of burst onto the scene, and this was our league. So yeah, I would agree with that. Bears over. Bears definitely won more than 4 games. They're going to beat the Texans. They're going to beat the Giants. They're going to beat the Vikings in one of the games. They're going to beat the Dolphins. They're going to beat the Falcons. They're going to beat the Lions. They're going to. There's 6 right there. They're going to beat the Jets. They may win 7 games.
Yeah. I think they'll win 6-7 games. Now, if they get Jimmy G, I think that they might win 9.
So
I think he's worth 2 games for sure.
Okay. All right.
So again, I'm all aboard the Jimmy G train.
We'll see what happens.
I think this roster's good enough.
And the Niners just announced that Trey Lance is their guy.
Yep.
So it's really obvious that Jimmy G is not in their
Where else
plans
is he going to
whatsoever.
go?
I had the dream that he was traded to the Giants.
But I still think that they want to see Daniel Jones for another
I
year.
agree. Well, they have to. Yeah, they kind of have to, which is also
And if you
unfortunate
take a
for
look
them.
at Jimmy G's win percentage, completion percentage, I mean it's top
up
10
there.
stuff. So in my opinion, I think it's absolutely worth, whether it's trade or whether it's signing him as a free agent. I think it absolutely makes sense for them to try to go after him.
Yep.
And if he doesn't work out, who
agree.
cares? Didn't cost you much, and
Hopefully they just release him.
Correct.
That would be the best of all worlds if they just released him.
Yeah.
All right. I do want to mention that this time next week, our buddy Eric Bjerkestrand, founder of the Locker Room, will be back in Spokane.
Yes.
So I'm really excited here over the next few weeks. Sam, do we have another mic?
Yeah, I was gonna say special guest question mark.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
we could.
Person locker room.
Hey, I'm just a fill-in. So
We can
if
set
Eric's
up-
coming back.
If he wants to come back, if you want
Anyone
other people
else?
to come on,
Yep.
yeah, just let me know beforehand.
We
Yeah.
should do some interviews or guest
Yeah.
appearances or something.
Yeah, I need to reach. Yeah, we should reach out to some.
We can do the
some
backroom
people here.
casting couch over here.
Yeah. we have what, 4 mics, right?
I mean, I can do way more than 4 mics. We just have 4 mics that we use consistently.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Cool. Well, yeah, we'll get Eric back on here, but he's currently at the Grand Canyon.
Really?
Yeah,
Get out.
you went to the Grand Canyon, right?
I did.
He's also going to be going through Zion tomorrow.
Beautiful.
Look at this. It's crazy. Looks fake.
Yeah, it
It
does.
just seems fake, but he'll be back. That'll be fun. Let's quickly do jabronis. Mine, first off, is the U.S. government for trading what's his nickname? The Merchant of Death arms dealer. They're offering him, he's a Russian national who was arrested in Thailand after he was supplying weapons to known terrorists. Interpol arrested him. He's currently under U.S. Arrest, I guess. They're offering to trade him for the other guy in Russia that is an American citizen, and Brittany Griner. My issue with this, we're going to stick with sports here because it's Brittany Griner, but my issue with this is, since when did we start trading? This whole aspect of trading with these foreign governments, I'm just not a big fan of. I get it. It sucks to have them over there, but I think this also puts the U.S. in a weakened position in the grand scheme of things, and I don't know if Brittany Griner's worth the Merchant of Death.
That's pretty. I don't know if Brittany Griner's worth the Merchant of Death. That's quite the nickname. Holy
Right.
cow! Yeah, who gives a shit about Brittany Griner? I don't know why everybody's so butthurt about this. She broke the law. I know it's Russia, but I could
Right.
give 2 shits about Brittany Griner and what she's doing.
Wow.
She broke the law, and she knew what she was doing.
What if Natalie was over there?
Natalie wouldn't break the law, or at least like that?
Right.
Just what is wrong with people? I'm sorry. Don't we have bigger fish to fry than worrying about what Brittany Griner's doing?
Wow. I can't believe you.
I don't
All right,
care.
What's your jabroni?
The NFL unveiling these lovely new, I don't even know what to call them.
Guardian caps.
Guardian caps.
Do you have a photo
If
of
you have
that,
a
Sam?
photo, it'd be great to pull it up, Sam. If not, do yourselves a favor and Google. Look at it. I mean, Mitch Trubisky looked like a clown before, and now he looks even worse.
That is an awesome photo.
Looks like he's wearing broccoli on his head. It's not good. This is not a good look. And I guess from what I've gathered, you gathered, NFL is making everybody wear these.
Just the offensive linemen, defensive linemen, linebackers, and tight ends. But yes,
So literally everybody.
in practice and the first 2 preseason games.
Yeah, this is not a good look for the NFL. And let's be honest, they don't give a rat's ass about their players. They're doing this to show that they're trying to care to lower the CTE numbers. Who cares? I'm sorry. It's just ridiculous.
I agree.
They look insane. And there's no way the players feel good about this.
No, they can't. Look, Mitch
they're like
Trubisky
an
does not look
idiot.
happy at all.
No. And I get it. In practice, cool, you want to take precautions,
Yeah.
but that
In
is
games,
just
that's
just-
going to look horrible in games.
And I'm very curious to know how much it's actually going to help.
Right. I agree. All right, let's rank. Actually, birthdays in sport real quick. Manu Ginobili was born on this day in 1977 in Bahia Blanca, Argentina.
The bald spot.
And that was a great Spurs team
Oh,
with Tony
unbelievable.
Parker. And on this day in 1969, Dana White was born in Manchester, Connecticut.
Oh, I didn't know he's from Connecticut.
Yep. Fun facts. All right, let's rank. Sam, we'll pull that up. I have it here. I think our order is the same. Do you start with Burger King?
Yeah, it should be the same.
Okay. And you have 5 tiers, right? I don't have the names of the tiers. We'll just tell you 1 through 5. What are the tier names so people know?
So S tier is technically Superior Smash Burger.
Oh, wait, it's actually up on the screen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so they can see it. We just can't.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. Okay, that's fine. So
Um,
we'll tell you 1 through 5.
Okay, perfect.
And we'll go through there.
Let's start with Burger King.
Yeah.
You want hold now? Just so we're not talking over each other.
Yep.
Do you want to do alternate?
Yes.
You rank this, okay, and then we can
Yep.
debate. So I'll start.
Yep.
Burger King. Man, every time I have Burger King, it is so underwhelming.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm
How
gonna give it.
underwhelming?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Ooh. Okay. I probably would put it in 3, just because
do you
of,
get
of
a
the
Burger
king.
King?
Not ever, but
The King, the creepy
Yeah.
cartoon or the creepy mascot. Yeah,
Yeah.
no thanks.
all
All right, McDonald's.
The one thing I'll give Burger King real quick is when they have deals, they have
great deals. Yes, that is true.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Scotty wants to know whose lap does Eric sit on when he comes onto the show. Probably yours.
I think he just lays across it. Both of yours.
Just lays across both. I
Perfect.
like that.
And real quick thing about Burger King. The best thing about Burger King is the fact that they have the cherry ices.
Sam and I were just talking about drinks. I didn't know that they were that good. Are
Cherry
they?
ices?
Oh, just the cherry ices? Oh, gotcha. Like movie theater cherry icy.
Yeah.
Okay. They are pretty good, but that's true. They are.
That, and I
think,
guess
the
they have
only
those
one.
Hershey pies that are unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know if I've had those.
Oh my! Do yourself a favor. All right, maybe I
A
rank
Hershey-
Burger King too low. But if we're talking about actual burgers, and-
Just burgers.
yeah, no,
A
not
Hershey pie?
Hershey pie,
Nice.
not a cream pie.
All
right.
McDonald's. I think you got to put that number 1 because it's like it's a great like hangover food, great drunk food, and the Golden Arch is literally it's synonymous with burgers. I think on top because the quality is whatever you can debate quality all day long, but I think what they've done for the burger industry, you got to put them number 1. 1 or 2,
Are we going off quality or brand?
all of the above.
All right, I'll go 1 on McDonald's.
Yeah, In-N-Out.
AJ,
Oh,
AJ, our buddy AJ would appreciate
Yeah,
that.
In-N-Out, and yeah, go ahead.
In-N-Out is definitely a 1, and I know there's a bunch
Okay.
of haters out there with In-N-Out, but man, I mean I think part of what is great about In-N-Out is time and place. Typically,
Yeah.
if you're having In-N-Out,
You're traveling.
you're on vacation.
Yeah, that's a good point. I
Arizona,
like that. I like that.
Vegas, California.
Yep. I like that, actually. That's a very – I was going to say probably 2 just because I think it's overhyped, but I like the vacation aspect. Wendy's, underrated 1.
I agree.
Yeah,
Burgers
very
wise,
much so.
yes, fantastic burgers. Square patty.
Yes.
Real quick, just so you guys know, 5 for you guys will just be neither of you have had it.
Okay.
That's fair.
Raleigh's.
Just so you know.
Raleigh's I've never had.
Raleigh's or Rallies?
Raleigh's?
I've never had it, so.
I've never had it. It's 5. All right, so we talked about this last night. This will be a duo discussion. We talked about this last night. What a burger. I was not impressed.
When did you have it?
Heather's wedding in Fort Worth.
Oh, I had it in Scottsdale with our buddy Judd, and very underwhelming. It's like a slightly better Burger King. That's
I'm
how
gonna put
I
it.
felt about it.
I'm gonna put it 3 because I know people really like it.
That's your call. It's your call. This is your rank.
No, it's actually. Oh, I guess it is mine because yours would have been Raleigh's.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
Fat burger.
I've had it. I just have memories of being broke in high school and college and like having Fat Burger. I'm like, I don't want to pay $13 for a freaking burger.
Right.
But I will say, quality wise, I'd give it a 3. I think it's pretty good.
I agree. Jack in the Box 4. There's nothing that stand. They have the Oreo milkshakes. Those are good. But 4, just their burgers are nothing special. I don't have one memory of Jack in the Box. Actually, no, didn't people get sick? Didn't we go to Jack in the Box in high school, the one by Meade? In some, like 2 of us, I didn't, but someone got, like 2 people got like food poisoning.
I have an iron gut. Nothing really gives me food poisoning. But
It wasn't me. I don't know, but I'm gonna say 4. All right,
Jack in the Box. Quick thing. If you're going to a place that serves both burgers and tacos, burgers probably not very good.
And the tacos also aren't very good.
Can I make one argument for Jack in the Box?
Sure. Oh, here we go.
Post 8 p.m., they have the best deal in fast food.
What? Oh, the tacos?
See, Sam's
No.
a value guy. I
Dude,
see.
the $5, like, you get a burger, you get 2 tacos, and you get a mix of curly fries and French fries for like $6.
That is a pretty good deal.
So if you're in Washington and partake after 8 p.m., quality.
All right.
Yeah, that's good to
That's
know.
fair. That's fair. I'll leave them at 4 still, but maybe if I take advantage of that deal, it might move to a 3.
Fair.
Tommy's for you. I've
Never had it.
5. All right, White Castle.
Had it once.
I've had it like 3 times.
This reminds me of Harold and Kumar.
Hey, yeah, right.
That's what I
I'm gonna
think
put
of
it-
every time.
I'm gonna put it not that good, but they are famous. I'm gonna put them at 3.
All right. I honestly don't remember my experience very well.
Yeah,
there.
I'm gonna put them at 3. Wiener Schnitzel. I think I've had a hot dog from there.
I've never had that before.
Yeah, 5.
Okay. Here we go.
So
You want me to
this
take
is is me. I haven't had A&W in probably 20 years.
one or- What?
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
so I'll let you rank this one.
A&W is fantastic. I'd put that at. Oh, are we doing just burgers?
For just burgers, yeah. No,
Probably
no,
a 3.
No root beer
probably
floats.
probably a 3.
To be fair, you guys have gone back and forth a little bit on the just doing burgers and then kind of rating other stuff.
I
along
know.
with
Yeah,
it.
you're right. But I'd say A&W is good. They have great fries. But again, we're talking about burgers.
Yep.
Red Lodge, Montana. They have one there. It was really good last time I had it, like 4 years ago. And they have one in the mall.
They also,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's good. It's kind of a time and place. I'd give it a 3.
All right, so I mixed up. Carl's Jr. is actually where people got sick, the one by Meade, not Jack in the Box.
right.
Yeah, I almost it was like Eric and somebody else.
You know, actually, real quick, Sam, sorry. A&W's a 4. I don't think you can put it on the same level as Fat Burger. So, yeah, 4 would be great. So.
Okay. Carl's Jr. also a 4. There's nothing special about it. They're the ones with the Oreo shakes. Actually, I think they both have Oreo shakes. And again, if we're just ranking the burgers, because they do have kind of those cool fries that are in the shape of stars. But I think they're a 4. I don't really enjoy them. All right, DQ. This is a good one.
Oh, that's a 2.
That's a 2, right?
Yeah,
That's
2,
definitely a
for
2.
sure.
And see, there's probably gonna be a lot of people who are like, Dairy Queen a 2.
Oh.
So
Get
underrated.
a double cheeseburger?
So underrated.
Oh, my gosh. I could house a double cheeseburger.
Definitely
Next
a
time we
2.
should do pizzas.
Okay.
That's my vote.
Pizza's a good one too.
Pizza's a good one.
If we do pizzas, I will be adamantly discussing with the both of you during that entire
Deal.
time.
Okay, fair.
Deal.
Fair.
All right, this is mine. I've never had it.
Neither
5.
have I.
Oh, 5 Guys. Okay. This one's also could be. This is you, but what do you think?
There's some controversy around Five Guys. Again, I do
Just
have
burger?
PTSD from
Yes,
high school
Yep.
days.
We went there a lot.
It's like $15. I'm like, man, really?
Yeah.
Quality of the actual beef and the burger, very good. I'd give it a 2.
I'd also give it a 2.
All right, we're in agreement here.
That's very, very good. Freddy's I've had once. It was fine, but since I've had it once and I do remember it in Seattle in the mall, a 4.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Smash Burger.
Never had it.
I had it for the first time when we picked up Katie down
Who's
in
Katie?
Fort Worth. Katie won, and and it was very good. It has a lot of history to it, but I'm gonna make it a 3 because I was not like super impressed. I'll make it a 3. All right,
That's your call. I've never
Sonic
had it.
for you.
Sonic, burger wise, oh man, it's a 2 or a 3 for me.
I agree. I think
love
it's very similar to
Sonic.
DQ.
Yeah, let's give it a 2. I think Sonic's a 2.
All right, I have no issue with that. No issue with that at all.
Yep.
Steak and Shake. Is this different than Shake Shack? This has to be. Shake Shack's different than Steak and Shake. I don't know if I've had Steak and Shake actually. Now that I'm looking at it.
I have had it once.
Where at?
Vegas.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, maybe I have had it actually.
I thought it was okay. I'd give it a. Actually, no, Milwaukee. No, I had this in Milwaukee. Sorry, that's way different than Vegas. Had it in Milwaukee. It's Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'd give it Probably a 4. It's okay.
Okay.
Again, I don't remember it very well. I think I was a few IPAs in.
All right, real quick, we're going to rank the local ones. Dick's. Oh, yep, 5.
No,
Never had it.
Never had it.
That's a good
Sorry,
list.
what was your question?
Dick's.
Dick's Hamburgers.
Yep.
Kind of time and place too,
Yep.
but I think Dick's. I love them. I think they're good.
Yeah.
I love Dick. I would say probably that's a 2 or a 3.
Okay, I'd agree. Delicious.
Oh, 1.
It's a 1.
I love Delicious.
Oh,
I don't know why people don't like
it's
it.
Judd. Judd, you took Judd there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, nah. It's like
He's a very picky eater.
he
but
is a kind of a
yeah,
picky
I would
eater.
say Delicious a 1.
What else do we have?
Zips.
That's Zips. Yes, I think a 1.
I'd say a 1 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AJ would make it a 5, and he's had it a lot. But
Funny story about AJ. Going up 5 Mile or Strong Road up on 5 Mile up north here. Legend has it that he literally had to jump out of a moving vehicle to crap his pants on the side of the road.
He didn't.
Or not his pants.
Yes,
sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, AJ. He had to relieve himself on the side of the road.
Yes.
Can I bring up one that I don't think is in the Spokane area anymore, but I believe it's still in Airway Heights? Is Wolfie's.
Wolfie's was really good. Wolfie's was.
But that's more of a sit down. That's not.
You had a
that's-
drive-through. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's in the same category, but Wolfie's was very good.
Wolfie's was very good. Anything else we can think of? I mean, there's Wisconsin Burger.
Wisconsin Burger's great.
It is very good, but that's also a sit down. There's
Yeah.
Incrediburger and Eggs. That's a sit down. They're actually closing. Did you see that?
Nah,
Wait,
whatever.
what?
Incrediburger and Eggs is closing.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
Wasn't
that's
very-
sad.
They're going
I
to
really
keep
like
their
that.
food truck,
very
but they're
good.
getting rid of their restaurant. I think that's it for. Oh, Steer In. We have Steer In. The Clayton Burger's closed, but we have Steer In and the Ram.
The Ram. The Ram's up north. But yeah, I
Okay,
think they're all good.
Last one, Burger Express.
Ooh, 2.
That's very similar
That's
to
a 2.
Zips.
Yeah,
But
it's
just
like
not
Zips.
quite the same.
Is there Paul Bunyan in Spokane?
No.
Okay.
Paul
Borderline.
Bunyan's pretty good. And then last but not, have you had Frugals yet? Over
No.
by GU.
Uh-uh.
We should probably go there soon to check them out.
Right.
All right. I think that's a good list. I think we did that right. If anyone has any complaints, please direct them to Josh
Or Sam.
or Sam. Probably Sam.
I will not be taking any questions.
He will not be taking any questions at this time. All right. That was a good show.
Great show. Great show. We got a lot done.
Yep.
Talked burgers, talked Mariners,
You're-
talked Seahawks.
You're heading to the club now to go meet your dad for lunch.
Yep. We're gonna
Nice.
go grab some lunch and yeah. And then we got a hot weekend, man. It's gonna be a blistering 103 this weekend.
Yep.
Or
Next
so.
4
It's
days.
gonna be great. Gonna be wearing a tux, sweating my ass off. It's gonna be
I'll be
fantastic.
in a suit, so I'll
Oh,
still
true.
be warm. Yep.
True. Well,
All right. Well, would you like to know the? Would you like to know like my advice for the week?
I would love to know your advice for the week.
Just always never forget. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. That was better.
That was
That was a little
that
more
better.
clean until Sam.